So for this video, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to be going over the prayer a little bit more, connecting the dots, putting the pieces together. This portion, you are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. And what I thought when I first read that was, well, then what am I seeing? What am I seeing? If that's what only those with eyes divine can see, which is your divinity, then what am I seeing? You know? It's like, so what's there? What's really there? Who's Baba? Because I'm sure as hell not seeing Baba for who he is, but I'm seeing something. There's something beautiful about Baba. And I can't put my finger on it, but this prayer seems to do it. You are everywhere. You're in everything. Yeah, we'll go on to the second part too. You are everywhere. You are in everything. And you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. I mean, it feels matchless. It's the ultimate protection. The ultimate gift that we are got by the beloved. That the beloved is everything that we are, and we are everything that the beloved is, and there isn't any in between. There's no in-between state where anything but God could exist, and that God that exists is something inconceivable, imperceptible. Now he says, only with eyes divine, right? So, okay, with divine eyes you could see him, but he's also imperceptible. So does that mean that beyond perception? You know, it's in and before, beyond imagination and conception. You're not going to be able to conceive of him. In one sense, you are the conception of God. We all are. Everything that is. Everything is him. So what do we do with this? What do we do? What are we going through in our life? I feel that's the key, and the gift is really that he gives us a way to connect with him that is so clean, so pure. You don't need a sadhana, you don't need a meditation practice, you don't need this or that. All crutches removed, and you're given direct access to him. But it's through a prayer that doesn't say anything false, you know? So you are indivisible and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. It's never a moment without him. And it's like, yeah, well, once you read it, of course. But then before you read it, life seems pretty confusing, entrapping. Just make sure this is working. Life seems pretty easy to forget that God is what he is. I think that's why this prayer is very important. But more so, what is it saying? What is it giving us? What are we supposed to take away from this, if anything? You are indivisible and none can see you but with eyes divine. So why are we even trying to look for him? What are we doing here? Why are we in this crazy world? But I guess the answer to that is you're not. You're not. If he is everything, and he is indivisible, and nobody can see him but with those eyes divine, then what we truly are isn't even here. It's just him. And if it's just him, then all of this happening stuff, past, present, and future, is completely irrelevant. Not in the sense that we should just throw it in the bin, but in the sense that it's not important. God is important. He's important, but he's imperceptible. He's imperishable and eternal. So all these things that we learn from the prayer is very simple. O Purvardhar, the preserver and the protector of all, you are without beginning and without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You know? Let thy will be my will comes to my mind. Because his will is the one that will be, and it brings to mind a lot of this. Sometimes we pray to God, we ask for things, we want our life to be a certain way, but ultimately we don't know how it really should be. And even the idea that we are having it is, the prayer itself disproves the possibility that there could be anything real to our lives. Obviously not to say that we don't take our lives seriously enough. I just mean to say that let thy will be my will. I think that really comes to heart there, is just somehow how can we let things be as they are without being a pushover? It's not about being a pushover. It's not about being, weak. It's about being as strong as you possibly can with effort and trying. I think actually it's about doing your best. There's a beautiful Baba quote that I think everybody knows. It's very simple, but it doesn't go the way that I've often heard it, which is, don't worry, be happy. But actually what was coming first was do your best, attend to your responsibilities, and then don't worry, be happy. The core of Baba's teaching is not to worry, that worry is a using up of psychic energy, and we must rid ourselves of worry in order for us to basically have a heart that is available for what is now, what's him, for him. All of our worries, they come into the house and they get comfortable, and then you forget that you had a house to yourself before they got there, and they were guests all along anyway. So it's like, well, get them out. Get them out. Get your worries out. Yeah, how to connect to Baba more than to just marinate in him. And it's a prayer that's telling us that he isn't anywhere else. He isn't here, he isn't in a certain sense there. He's more here than here. I don't know. He said that's my way of putting it forward, but the idea is that God is not something to be found out there. It's something to be found by truly looking within and going, okay, well, how am I meeting that resistance to who I am right now? Baba's a simple one. I feel it's never complicated with him. It's never so difficult to understand. The metaphysics are not that complex. It's not, God is always accessible in its simplest form. As soon as we get into these ideas that maybe it's difficult to understand God, or that it's hard, you have to strive to earn God's love and all this stuff. And I subscribe to some degree. You need to do things that you are proud of and apply yourself in the world that will make yourself proud to a certain degree. At least as a man, I feel that's important. But to some even larger degree, to fulfill your truest purpose on this earth would be to come into collaboration and union with the beloved. So I think I have to walk carefully. I mean, there's a beautiful quote, kiss the ground with every step. I think it's another way of saying to stay in communion at all times, to stay with the Great Spirit at all times with everything that we do. And that isn't so simple, and yet it's very simple because it's, of course, it's the aspect of do right, do good, make the world a better place, obviously, and try to give your gift that you've been given. So then I think that's where we get into a bit of a confusion as a society, is we've forgotten as a whole, as a collective, how to give our gifts, how to truly give what we've really got to be given to others. And I think the reason we forgot that is in the scope of mind, we generally create ideals, and those ideals are very difficult to live up to. Democracy, a republic, or this or that, any kind of an ideology or a system or a structure, they are not going to stand forever. They don't stand. You know, there's the beautiful quote that is, well, basically I can't find a quote, but I know it pretty well. The difference between needs and wants, needs being things that you need physically, bodily. You need this, you need that, you need sustenance, you need food and all that. And often you don't need as much as you think you need. But, you know, there's a piece that is very good. I'm going to try to find it. Come on. I can find it. And the difference between needs and wants being very different. Wants are things that you don't really need. It's very obvious. You don't really need that, but you want that. You want nice things, but really you just need maybe a thing to do a thing. What you need is often very different. What you need on your path to the next step is often just, that is what you'll always be provided for. I mean, and the needs will always be abundantly provided for as well. And the reality is that if we just attend to our responsibilities, often our needs get met in very simple ways. But it's also, I've noticed, I think there's something to be said for when we fall into scarcity, we get this sense that our needs won't get met. And I feel we get in the way. That's when we start to get in the way of allowing our needs to be met, allowing God to put the right situation in front of us. This is when we fall into these energies of filling the void or trying to get something that we think will secure us the safety and protection that we need, when we need those things, but what we've done is we've decided that we want it to be fulfilled a certain way. And it's interesting how that leads into, I think, ascended forms of communication. Nonviolent communication is a very high level of communicating. There is this element of learning what your needs are and finding ways to meet our needs and truly find out what the need actually is in any given scenario. And I feel that's kind of the that's sort of the piece there. It's understanding the difference between needs and wants and finding out what you truly need, and then you understand, okay, well, this is what I need. So then it just becomes a much more clear path to meet that need, instead of thinking because everybody has needs, right? And so then we get these programs from the mass media, from collectively, from everyone, from parents, whatever, from everybody, that this will save you. This will save you. Making a lot of money will save you. Having a big house, this will save you, this way, that way. And what happens is we start to get programmed to believe that that's how our needs will be met, is through these visions that have been given to us by the previous generation, or by our current government, by our current media, or or we find something on the internet, we find Instagram, whatever, we think that, oh, that'll do it. Well, really, you just have a need here, now, today, right now. And it's actually a very present thing. When you have a need, it's right now. It's not tomorrow. You're thinking of tomorrow. You're probably worrying about a need that you probably already have a need that you need to meet now. And this is a very interesting, I think many people run into this issue where they run after needs. They suppress their needs and use their mind to try to get what they want instead of just get what they need. So people will spend years grinding away at some thing to get super wealthy to eventually what? When what you could do is simply find ways to meet your needs every single day and attend to your life presently every single day. And I'm sure there's a balance, and many people who have a lot of money are able to do that. I'm not saying that it means anything to have money or not. I'm just saying that the difference is we have wants and we have needs. And when we have wants, often we don't actually meet our needs. This is the issue. And that's why I read that quote about the irresistible waves of life, because in that quote, what I feel comes up is this essence of how we try to create these shelters that are basically just sheltering ourselves from having to deal with today, here and now. It's like a sheltering ourselves from having to just attend to the daily responsibilities, from being vulnerable today. We say, oh, well, I'm going to go make a bunch of money so I never have to be vulnerable ever again. And I say, look, you could be a little bit vulnerable right now and attend to what you are feeling and needing now. And you could go and get a hug from a stranger, and you could erase an entire dream that you wanted all these millions of dollars by just simply receiving a good hug. And I know this for myself. There was a time when I was having to reconcile my own desire to be super, super rich. I really wanted to make a lot of money. And I realized that what I wanted was to make a lot of money, but what I needed was some love. What I needed was to feel connected again. What I needed was to feel really alive. And so then I started attending to those things, and I mean, ultimately I've realized that it's both. Yes, money will make your life a little bit better, and you can meet your needs a lot easier. So it's important, I believe, to find ways to allow money into our life also, because there's an essence to also trying to make money from a place of I want it this way. And I think that's also the silly part, because you don't know what God's going to put in front of you to say, this is how I want you to make money. This is how I want you to do it. Sometimes we go, no, I want it to be this way. It's like, well, maybe that's not actually the way it's being delivered to you. Just the same way that someone is giving us a beautiful plate of food full of love, full of life and good energy. And then we say, no, I'm on a strict diet, I can't eat that. It's like God is literally telling you, I made this for you with my whole heart through this being that's giving it. This mother is giving you food. Eat the food. Find a way through the veil of our desires to just accept what is in front of us here and today. And I found that to be very difficult, and I feel that is the new humanity. Spiritual experience that is to enliven and energize the new humanity cannot be a reaction to the stern and uncompromising demands made by the realities of life. And that's the point. That is such the point, because if we compromise to the realities, the harsh realities of life, there's people starving everywhere, and there's difficulty there's war there. If we relinquish what enlivens the new humanity, which is here and now, what is alive now? Really, I mean, it's not that complicated, but it's so profoundly simple. What is here and now? And then through that comes the prayer. you are indivisible and none can see you but with eyes divine. I say, well, look, an energy, a spirit, a greatness that great can penetrate and interpenetrate and move through any kind of circumstance here and now. It's not, yeah, it was and it will be. And also it's here and now. And it's beyond conception. It's eternal. It's imperishable. That energy, whatever, it's not energy, I guess. I don't know. Don't know what it is. Don't know what he is, who he is, how he is. It doesn't seem to, that seems to be reserved for the masters. And for me or us or people who are just wishing to be in communion, it seems the message is simply to attend to the responsibility of the present moment. Articulate, being articulate, to consider things, to listen, to, if we're with another being, to be with them, it's not easy. None of this is easy. I don't experience it being simply easy, but I do experience it to be simple in its application. That as soon as I attend to what is here and now and sit with it a little bit, often all my hopes, dreams, and aspirations in some very magical way get met in the moment that I am not and he alone is. And so you can't do it. But it also is somehow it happens, and we come to it through, I don't know, keeping him close to us. Because if we can't see him, we don't have any confirmation necessarily that God will heal, be the balm on our wounds. Then we have only faith, and that faith seems to be the guiding force. And why have more faith than not? Because first of all, your life isn't even yours. So to not have faith would be like saying, I'm taking the reins. But you who's in charge of you? Who brought you here, and where are you? So there's a beauty in this understanding and coming into communion with God and allowing him to move through you. I imagine it a lot like when you're driving a car. Imagine you're in the passenger seat and Baba is driving the car. You say, I'm so comfortable. God's got the wheel. It's God. It's going to take us where we need to go. Perfect. And everything's hunky-dory. It's kind of the Garden of Eden. Everything's perfect. You just sit there. That's your only rule, is really just sit there and enjoy the ride, right? But then, say Baba jumps out the window. And you're like, dude, Baba, what the hell? I thought you were driving. And then you go, Baba's just like, and you're going, where'd Baba go? Okay, and the car's still going. You realize, I think I gotta take the driver's seat now. And you get into the driver's seat and you're going 80 miles an hour, and you realize when you put your hands on the wheel, you feel, okay, here he is with me. And so in some sense, he's still driving the car. So if we can step into the passenger seat while also being in the driver's seat, taking charge for our life, allowing his energy to move through us, I think we're going to be meeting these higher energies of the new humanity. We will be enlivening our own perspective, our own lives, and sharing that self-communicative love that only can come from the beloved. Tit for tat, I don't know. It's just introspection and marination, and this chicken's cooked. So I hope you got something out of this, enjoyed, received some medicine here, and yeah, if you like it, like and subscribe, and come back for the next video. I'm going to keep going through the prayer and just see what comes each time. Marinate a little bit deeper each time. Jai Baba.